wherever you want to believe that, it's one of those flip floppy things again, But were there airships back then? I don't know. But according to this particular outfit, yes, there was. So,
Well, don't forget, debunking probably started out a long time ago.
Time ago, yes, absolutely.
Can you imagine even being a mayor, that little small community, and something crashes that, you don't know what it is. You have no idea what it is. And if a little creature lived or died, you'd look at them. I hate to say it. A lot of people probably think it's a demon.
Absolutely. And they did. A lot of people did think they were demons, I mean, for a good example, Orson Welles did that show way back in the day, and it scared the hell out of all the people over in New Jersey. They went out and shot water tanks and all kind of stuff, mass hysteria,
Well, don't
in that community.
And don't, even up here in Concrete, Washington, that when that play was going on, they lost their power in Concrete, Washington. At the same time that show was airing, and could you imagine all of a sudden your power's out, you just hear that, the planet's being invaded. What would go in your mind? But I did a lot of research.
Exactly.
Orson Welles, if he did what he did today, he would have went to prison for that, because there was in the Midwest, there was a farmer who literally killed his family because he thought it was better that he killed him than what he heard on the radio with these aliens doing what they were doing to people. And it scared people because a lot of people weren't educated. They didn't have more than a 6th grade or less education. And to hear something like all of a sudden, they didn't catch maybe the first 2 minutes of the show when he was saying, this is a radio play. They were busy listening to another show and switched over to CBS to hear that and missed that part. So people were freaking out like crazy. I mean, honestly, today, if you went on right now to ABC, NBC, CBS, and all of a sudden they started talking about aliens, coming down on Earth and doing mass destruction, what would people do?
Yeah, exactly. It's basically the same thing.
Well, you wouldn't want to step outside of your house for one, because you'd be scared you'd be shot.
No, absolutely. Yep, exactly. Yep, exactly. I'd be more afraid of the people around me than I would be the aliens, I'll be honest with you.
That's what I said about not stepping out of your house. You'd be shot because they'd be shooting at anything that moves.
Anything that moves is going to get killed,
Pretty much. I mean, in chaos, even with.
And this is one of the reasons why I don't think that you'll ever have the government admit anything to this, and that's part of the reason why. Because there would be mass hysteria. People's religion views would have to change, you know what I'm saying, to a certain extent, and different other things. I mean, it would change a lot of, it would upset a lot of things with people,
Well, Clarence, I got in trouble back a couple months ago, and I'm probably now going to get a whole bunch of hate mail again for saying this. But if you go back, you go back, like our Earth, was a resource for maybe aliens to come and mine our planet. Because if you look at the Incas, the Mayas, they all wanted gold. And then you got into the Amazon, you go everywhere, that the precious thing was gold. Now, why would they put value on gold rather than lead or anything else? I think at one point we were harvested, our planet was harvested by aliens for our resources. And they probably brought the slaves down to our planet to do whatever that had to be done to recover the gold and stuff like that. And when they were done, they left them, they took off. And that's how I think our human race actually probably involved. Because again, like I said, the pyramids now are finding out are older than mankind, especially the Sphinx. So that tells me something probably happened. And if you and you have to understand one thing, mankind has always had to believe in something, be it the fire god, the water god, or the god of the mountain, or what have you.
That's right.
People had to believe in something. And and I hate to say it, I mean, our religion probably started from an alien race because they were looked at as gods.
Yes, I'm 100% behind you on that. Absolutely. Our own Bible reads as alien visitation, and people don't understand that. But if you read it the way I do and understand it the way I do, it makes a lot more sense. But that's, I don't want to get off on a religion tangent here. But
I don't either.
Ezekiel, the book of Enoch, and all that is all about extraterrestrial visitations. The whole thing. So yeah,
yeah.
And that's what I'll say about that.
Yeah, but I agree with it. I think that's how mankind started, and I think that's how, like, again, the Incas, the Mayas, and all these people put value on gold, because how could they come to a conclusion, seriously, with their intelligent level, that gold was precious?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about the pyramids, and I've always said this, and I think people get the wrong deal about these pyramids where they're thinking that they're tombs and da-da-da-da. I'll tell you what the pyramids are all about. They were gold refineries, and that's exactly what they were used for.
Well, gee, I'm glad you said that, because I've heard everything that there's a water pump to, sending out signals to space, to our magnetic field. I'll be honest with you. I think you actually are probably the second person that said that, because I'm probably the first, or maybe I'm the second and you're the first. I don't know.
I'm going to tell you why I say this. Because a lot of these pyramids, they find mercury around them, and they find water in the bottom. And some of these, there's one specific Mayan ruin that they found that had mica all along the inside of the walls, which mica is a heat shield. And the one end of it, the one end of the pyramid had been exploded, like it had blown up. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And when you start mixing, certain chemicals or whatever, that's what's going to happen, obviously, But the Great Pyramid of Giza, as you remember, it has what do you want to call it? That tomb that's in there was empty. But, there's soot on the walls, there's all kind of stuff, whatever. Of course, that's from the heat that they use to melt the gold ore down and whatever, liquefy it, and then of course it went down through these other chambers and did whatever. But that's what these all were. They were gold refineries, and think about it. Look at all the gold that Egypt did and made throughout the years, and all the masks and the trinkets and it was just nothing but gold, They had so much of it, it was unbelievable,
And could you imagine before that, when the aliens were harvesting all this gold? I mean, at one point, I think gold was really common on our planet. I mean, very common. Yeah. You could probably go out your own backyard and probably would have been able to find gold at one time. And I think that was a precious, not just because we use gold and silver in electronics, but even a race so far advanced, I don't think they were using it as gold for like bartering. I think it was used for
no, it was used for electronics. Yeah, exactly,
or something.
Yep, and I agree with that. That's exactly what they were doing with it. I mean, you had one person that wrote a book that claimed that they poured it in the atmosphere. Like that's really going to make a difference as far as breathing. With gold, I don't think so. Whatever. But I honestly believe that they definitely mined it, and it was used for, their components. They were using it as a mechanical device, not as like you say, not as money or an adornment, you know what I'm saying? But, they were using it in their equipment.
Oh, yeah.
And, that's exactly what they were doing with it.
Yeah, I think they came down and they harvested all the minerals, gold and silver, and basically what was left here for us to discover was very little, because they did a good job of, taking what they could find. And I guarantee you, they had the equipment to locate where it was at. They had the capability of removing it, and I think that's where everything started from. I think that's where human, as we know it, that's how we originated on this planet. That's why I keep telling people we're our aliens ourselves, because we were probably brought here as slaves.
Yep. Well, if not as slaves, I mean, they definitely started us as a human race. I mean, you can go all the way back, Denisovians, Homo sapiens sapien, you can go back to Neanderthal, to whatever, whatever species. And of course, we had to grow throughout the years, brain-wise and whatever. But, we were definitely made. I mean, we were transformed, so to speak. But whether it was for their benefit or if we were just a hobby for them or whatever it was, but yeah, absolutely.
Well,
and that's where like the RH factor and stuff comes in, different things like that,
Yeah,
we were meant to be separated, and, they did certain things to us to keep us from interbreeding and doing other things, and that's all part of it.
Yeah. So, but there was from prehistoric man to man as we know it, there was a big jump that scientists have not been able to answer. There's and then recently they found another little key to the picture. They found another, a humanoid in between that they didn't even know was there. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I don't think they'll ever put the pieces together, because it's the same way. We came and make concrete like the Romans did to last centuries and thousands of years. We can't do any of that. We don't have the technology.
No, absolutely not. Nope. Somebody taught somebody something, and it sure didn't come from our fellow man. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Because we all thought the same. I mean, that's, let's face it, we're all the same way as far as thinking-wise, with the exception of these guys now with their technology, building cell phones and computers and whatever. I mean, I have no idea how they're even put together, but, we do have some brainiacs out there, the Einsteins of the world, but, yeah.
Well,
they were definitely taught as a race. Yeah.
Yeah. Even our technology, my dad, headed up a team when Boeing's years and years ago was going to come out with the SST, aircraft, the super, whatever.
Yes.
And he was electronic engineer. And, that's where I got my electronic background, because my father, father like son. But I'll tell you, my dad, one day, we were having a talk, and my dad pointed out something. From the 30s, 40s, and 50s, okay, our whole technology was tubes. And then all of a sudden, transistors came. And, and it came really fast. And after the transistor came out, the integrated circuit came out, which then replaced a bank of transistors. And then all of a sudden, the integrated circuit started actually replacing whole components. But you figure this, in the 50s, it took mass amount of computers, mass amount of tubes, and overnight it was now transistorized. And our technology, just from the mid-50s to the 60s, went crazy technology-wise.
Yes, it did.
And my father said it was no way, between fiber optics and everything else that was going on, that we had the capability to make that jump from the 50s to 1960 technology-wise.
That's right. Yeah. My grandfather was a TV repairman, and I can remember in the back of his house that he had all of these tubes and amplifiers and just stuff that, and a TV back then weighed as much as a refrigerator.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just remarkable now when you look at our smart TVs that we have and different other things. I mean, our grandfathers now would be rolling over in their graves looking at some of this electronic stuff we have now. It's unbelievable.
Well,
even the microwave, even the microwave back in the 70s when it first came out, revolutionized the world. Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. And
that was space. I mean, that was science.